There was a time that I was scared to confront people about things that made me feel negative, made me feel bad, made me feel sad. I didn't want to confront anybody because I didn't want to lose anybody, because losing people meant that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of friendship. I'm not worthy of a relationship. I'm not worthy of praise. It was so easy to beat myself down because I was used to shrinking myself. I was used to blending into the background, and blending into the background, sometimes you don't want to do that anymore. And that's okay. You can make your identity whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want.
Hey y'all, it's Key. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we're gonna spend the day together and we're diving into something that touches every part of my soul, and that is confidence. Not the fake it till you make it, but the real, grounded, unapologetic, self-trust type of confidence. I'll be taking you through my day and sharing how I boosted my confidence in little ways and hopefully help you feel a little bit more empowered too. So let's get into it.
Good morning. It's the next day. I am getting myself together so I can run my errands before my parents come and we go to the gala that I've been talking about. I washed my other wig, the one that I've been wearing in like every other video. I really want it to dry kind of undisturbed, so I'm gonna leave that one off and wear this nice synthetic joint that I really use as like another hat substitute. This is more difficult to brush out and manage than my other one. I'm gonna skip putting on like a full face of makeup, but I did put in my contacts already. I am gonna just conceal my eczema and the dark spots, because one thing I noticed is that when I am getting myself together, like getting my stuff together and really doing what I said I was gonna do, I always try to look good. You know, I used to like put on cute clothes just because, for no reason, to go to the post office, to go to get some groceries. Because of that revelation, I am going to go to the car wash looking semi-decent. I'm not trying to look like the baddest bee at the car wash, but I am just trying to look like a natural baddie, you know what I'm saying? And then I realized, so I got my tattoo last year that I have on my back. I don't know if I've ever showed y'all. Let's see if it'll show up on here. But it's a koi fish and it matches my brother's tattoo. He has a tattoo on his arm and I really like it, but I never show it. So today we're going backless. It's supposed to be 84. I'm gonna do better with looking in the lens instead of the viewfinder, because one thing I used to hate when I was watching videos in the past was people looking at themselves and preening themselves in the viewfinder when you're supposed to be talking to whoever you're talking to, even if it's yourself. I don't know. It's currently like 7 a.m. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I ain't got no drop top, but I'm about to cruise the streets. Period. So I'm pretty much done, ready to go. When I first started going to the car wash that I go to, nobody was ever there because it was brand new. And now everybody on the West End knows about it. So it's packed by 9 o'clock. So we need to hurry up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, it is 8:20 right now, 8:19, and we are on our way. Let's go. All right, so I'm picking up coffee now, and then I'll head back to the house. I'm like, hold on. If I look like doo-doo all the time, I feel like doo-doo all the time. When I spring into action, everything is done in steps. So I start by how I look. I know that how you look isn't everything, but
For me personally, when I look put together, I feel more put together and I'm way more sociable. I'm just ready to go get things done that need to be done versus when I look kind of crazy all the time. And it has nothing to do with anybody but myself, you know? Oh, my coffee is secured. This one got little balls at the bottom. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been getting no balls, so maybe that's why they gave me the coffee that got balls at the bottom. But yeah, I feel like everything that you have to do needs to be done in phases so that you can have the best shot at sustaining. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Sustaining stuff. Okay, let's just come back in a second. All right.
So we're back home. Confidence in its essence is one of the best ways to motivate yourself. And I understand that if you're not feeling good, if you're not feeling yourself, if you're not feeling your life, it's really hard to come up with that confidence, and sometimes fake it until you make it feels very fraudulent, you know? How I pretty much combated that was not faking it until I make it, but simply investigating, digging deeper. When I look at women or other people, doesn't really have to be a woman, inspired or awestruck, or it makes me feel any little tinge of negativity, I try to figure out what about that person I feel is superior to me. In reality, nobody is superior to you. Nobody's superior to anybody, regardless of someone else's opinion, but sometimes you can feel that way. So let's talk about this as I clean the kitchen. I personally believe that one of the most important things you can do is research. Research your favorite celebrities, research your favorite styles, and figure out what exactly about that style is speaking to you. For me, self-expression is the top thing that I need when I put on an outfit. My outfit today, if you can see it, right? My outfit today is saying something. I'm more of a casual person. I'm not really the girl that's going to show up in stilettos everywhere because that's just not me. And even though I think it's beautiful on other women, it's just not my thing. I don't feel like I have to compete, and I don't feel like I am less than anyone else that has something else on or a different body style, right? So that's number one. Angle change incoming. I used to have another YouTube channel. It's called Kiba Muse, and I used to post K-pop covers. I did end up going over there and was like relatively successful at that. And then I just quit after I had a really horrible experience. I don't think that I failed at it. At the time, I did feel like it was failure, but that whole journey of that channel was me just trying to build my confidence. Think about it. I was a little black girl that was still in college, and I wanted to sing K-pop. I was in Georgia, right? The country with not a huge Korean population. And I just started teaching myself Korean. And then I started putting myself out there, even though I did not feel like I was ready. So that brings me to my second point, which is even if you don't feel like you are ready, do it. Do it scared. I know I've said this before in a different video. I don't care if your voice is shaking. I don't care if your knees are wobbling. I don't care if if you cry while you're doing it. Just go do it. You want to know why? Because you are literally building your confidence when you go do something that you're extremely afraid of. Every time I did not flatline doing something, or somebody clapped instead of my worst fear coming to life, it built my confidence for the next time. So a lot of times I think you end up forgetting that exposure therapy is one of the best ways to get over a fear. You have to expose yourself to whatever you're afraid of. So I'm not saying jump head first, right? But definitely do it in steps, right? So I didn't just hop on a stage immediately when I thought I wanted to sing, and I thought nobody would listen, and I thought maybe I wasn't that great of a singer. I definitely just started posting on YouTube. Another thing that you need to get together to build your confidence would be your mindset. You already know. I know you're like, shut up about the mindset thing already. But I can't. I can't because it is one of the most important things that you can get together, right? Because I want you to ask yourself a question, right? You can put the answer in the comments. You can put the answer, just, take note of the answer that you have in your head. But what makes you so horrible that you can't pull off whatever it is that you're trying to do? What makes you unworthy of whatever it is you want and other people more worthy than you? You probably came up with an answer that you thought was real, but I am going to ask you a follow-up question. And again, you don't have to answer it in the comments. You can just literally write it down, think the answer to yourself. But whatever it is that you gave as an excuse as to why you can't do whatever it is that you want to, can you think of anybody that has that same thing going on? Again, I'll wait. For my example, I wanted to be a singer. And I felt like, who would want to listen to me? Because I've heard a lot of people say a lot of different things. I got a lot of criticism. And I thought, well, I'm ugly, so nobody's going to want to watch an ugly person sing. I can't even sing that good. Now, I can think of a lot of singers that can't even sing that well. These are the reasons why I was feeling insecure. I don't think that I'm the greatest singer. Do you have to be the greatest at whatever it is you're trying to do to excel? I just talked about in my last video a bunch of copycats out here. People copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Does that mean that they're not successful in what it is that they do? No. Because guess what? My opinion for those people doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter. Just like other people's opinion shouldn't matter to you. Once you start understanding that the only person that you have to impress or that needs to validate you is you, it's a whole different ballgame. It's like, okay, I'm not the prettiest person in the room, so I'm still in the room. And I deserve to be here because I said so, and apparently God said so, baby. So what's the chit chat? Exactly, not a damn thing. And lastly, the last point I'm going to make for today is understanding that failure only exists if you quit. There is a process. Right? When you build things don't just get built immediately. You don't see a whole skyscraper on the first day. It starts with a foundation. They clear the land, they level the land, they dig the holes, they set up the foundation, they build the structure, and then they build the building. And then you see the walls, then you see the windows, then you see the units inside, then you see the entire thing as it stands. But there is a process to that. So maybe everything doesn't go perfectly. Maybe you mess up somewhere. Maybe you try to do something. I've been trying to post TikToks and no one's watching my TikToks or no one's watching my YouTube videos. So you are literally, you got your construction hat on and you're building and you're building and you're building and you're adapting and you're building and you're reiterating and you're building and you're iterating again, because this is you building who you want to be. That is the honest truth. There was a time that I would never wear anything like I'm wearing right now. Too much skin exposed, right? There was a time that I was scared to go to the gym. There was a time that I was scared to confront people about things that made me feel negative, made me feel bad, made me feel sad. I didn't want to confront anybody because I didn't want to lose anybody, because losing people meant that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of friendship. I'm not worthy of a relationship. I'm not worthy of praise. It was so easy to beat myself down because I was used to shrinking myself. I was used to blending into the background. And blending into the background, sometimes you don't want to do that anymore. And that's okay. You can make your identity whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want. But it's so, so important to understand that your own opinion, your own validation, your own everything that you think about you is 20,000 times more important than what somebody else thinks about you. Here's a good example. If I told you, no, in the daytime, the moon rises and not the sun, would you say, oh, really? Would you question that? Would you be like, oh man, like, I thought that was the sun, but somebody just told me it was the moon. And like, so what comes out at night? Like, what comes out at night if that's not the moon? No, you know the sun comes up in the day and the moon comes up at night. This is a knowing, right? No one can tell you otherwise about that. So when it comes to yourself, why do you accept people telling you things that you know aren't true? Just don't accept it. It doesn't mean you have to get upset at them. It doesn't mean you have to yell at them. It doesn't have to, you don't have to scream at them. You don't have to say anything other than, okay, and move on with your life. You are validating all these little instances that happen to you, right? You are the one that has to validate them. You are the one, if you're in a fight with somebody, you got to get mad back to that person. That person can do whatever, keep attacking you. I'm not saying to sit here and get attacked or let people say or do whatever and don't defend yourself. But what I'm saying is check how badly it's bothering you, because these people are just going to say stuff. They don't know you, but you do. So why are you going to let them say something crazy? As I continue to clean my kitchen, I just wanted to leave you guys with that, because I worked very hard to get to the point that I am right now. We don't all start out in high-rise condos. We don't all start out making, $100,000 a year. Some people start out with absolutely nothing, and they still end up reaching the heights of somebody else that maybe did start there. Just food for thought, because yeah, I go through that all the time. I go through imposter syndrome all the time. And at the end of the day, imposter syndrome is really self-inflicted bullying. You're bullying yourself for no reason. I'm gonna clean up the rest of my home and maybe mop and just vibe. If you want to vibe with me, stay tuned.
If you are someone who made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to love yourself, bump what these people say, and also check out one of these other videos right here. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.